Okay. Hey, critics, let's go black on the inside of Us Weekly's September 15th issue. On page 3, Stevie Wonder is being praised by basically Nick Lachey, admitting to the magazine that his favorite tune to sing is Superstition by Stevie Wonder. Very superstitious, right? Yeah, I don't think I'm that great at it all the time, at least not long term, right? I can give you a little snippet here and there, and that's about as good as it gets, y'all. But I'll keep it moving. On page 6, y'all, Kiki Palmer is pictured wearing a vintage Versace gown previously worn by Naomi Campbell. And, I think Kiki Palmer has been doing a lot of those like looks. She's done a couple of more as well. And while it does not come to mind as of right now, another side note does come to mind. I saw that clip with you and Candy Burris talking about how Candy admitted that she wouldn't speak to Phaedra again, but also revealed that Phaedra basically never reached out to her after Apollo went to jail, and then Phaedra and him basically divorced. Because at one point in time, Phaedra and Candy was real, real cool. As a matter of fact, I thought they made a very good duo, by the way. That's my vote. That would be my vote. But yeah, I guess Candy had kept some of Apollo's things at her house, at her and Todd's house. And I think Phaedra had to go about seizing them a certain kind of a way, which was a little sketchy. And according to Candy, I don't think it had to be done that way, but it was. And so maybe that's the reason. But it looks like neither one of them have done anything in order to reach out to each other. So, oh, that was some tea that I want. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you was able to clock that for us over that Kiki. And wearing the exact same dress. I feel like most of those, excuse me, dresses are like a replica from like maybe like the 90s or maybe even like the early 2000s, for example. And Danielle Deadweiler is seen in a custom Prada dress paired with gems from Bouchier. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Fine jewelry. This look is also pink and very sleek with her bob hairstyle. Very straight kind of a bob hairstyle. It's really a very nice look with the sheer at the top, especially. Doja Cat is featured in the Who Wore It section on page 8, wearing Carolina Herrera. And although the magazine says that Bronwyn Newport wore it best, my vote is Doja because that dress wasn't even tailored to Bronwyn's body, y'all. If you take a look at it, you let me know. And I definitely want you to comment below. And also Cheryl Lee Ralph, she wore it best in a bright orange Carolina Herrera skirt and a shirt combo, all orange. I feel like the orange highlighted her bright smile, while Kelly McCreary rocked it best in Sebastian, and it was a Sebastian Gunwin dress. And when Tracy Ellis Ross was asked about her close friendship with the Obamas, she admitted that she's never asked Michelle to set her up, which is perhaps dumb, and she believed that she needs to get on that. I actually disagree, Tracy. I think that you are perfectly capable of finding your own man. Now, let me hush. I'm not always great when it comes to the whole relationship stuff, but I believe Tracy Ellis Ross is very capable of finding her own man if she wants to. But what I like that she is doing is she's doing her solo travel. And I know that that's out there on one of those streaming platforms that you can catch her doing that. And Will Smith is also out there in them streets. They say he turned up the heat on page 13 with the help of an exciting firework display during his Based on a True Story tour performance at Cardiff Castle on August the 25th. And the ever so good looking LL Cool J is seen performing on top of a Jeep Cherokee in Brooklyn's Domino Park on page 16 with his signature bucket hat covering his, what I'm just assuming, y'all, is his bald head. Shout out to the bald heads out there. Naomi Osaka is on page 17 trying her hand at ping pong ahead of the US Open, where she most recently won the quarterfinalists, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. Google that. Just kind of find out for yourself. But yes, she did most recently have a victory. And then Coleman Domingo is on page 18, looking swanky in Switzerland to capture his stunning Euro style in the cobblestone streets there. And It Girl, Lori Harvey, also made orange look glamorous during her getaway in Italy in August, wearing a whimsical orange number with a nice dress. I'm convinced at this point that orange is like the fall color, like that is the color to wear. I actually got my pedicure and it is orange. Not that y'all needed to know that, but I'm just having a TMI moment, so I thought that I would share. Zoe Kravitz is on page 31 and reportedly is having a fling with Harry Styles. Okay, just like strawberry. Is that the one? On the summer. I don't know why I thought I could sing that song, and that's why sometimes I just don't, right? Well, on to the next, right? Because Zoe just got out of a relationship not too long ago with old boy who was a cutie pie, and they did a movie, or she wrote a movie and he did the movie. Am I? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but she wrote it. He starred in it, and then shortly after that, they broke up. But now she's with Harry Styles. Okay. Y'all think it's gonna last? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And on to something a little more serious. I hate to hear it, but Lil Nas X was arrested on August the 22nd after walking naked down a LA street. He was hospitalized for a reported overdose and then was later charged with 4 felonies, y'all, including battery with injury on a police officer. There's definitely more to come when it comes to this story. I also saw a clip of his mother just kind of, you know, seeming like she was definitely on some substances and not well, and probably not in the best state of mind. So I'm just hoping that Lil Nas X is able to get to a better place when it comes to whatever is going on, and maybe get some of the help that he needs to recover. In the Stars Who Welcome Kids Young segment on page 33, it includes Lil Wayne, who, y'all, can I my question to y'all really is, why y'all got this segment? I'm not saying, I just want to know why. That's it. I'm gonna stop there before I get in trouble for something that I say. But why y'all got this segment? But shout out to Lil Wayne, who had his daughter with author and entrepreneur Toya Johnson at 15 and 16, and then LeBron James, along with his wife Savannah, had their firstborn son Bronny at 19. So on page 34, the segment is, Have We Maxed Out Celeb Book Clubs? It was written by Shelby. And Reese Witherspoon is mentioned. Jenna Bush Hagar is mentioned. Emma Roberts and more. But I think y'all left out like 2 book clubs that I personally would have liked to seen included. And that is the book club by singer A. Marie, and also Oprah's book club, which I know that Reese's book club is like the latest success, blah, da, 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 which is great. I mean, no hating on that at all. But Oprah's book club has a life of its own. Okay. Just a side note, you didn't ask for that. I'm just sharing for the critics anyway. Okay. I'm just in a little critical mood, specifically about the book club. I mean, and if you don't know, now you know. And speaking of life, let's talk Angela Bassett. The gorgeous woman is on page 35, looking timeless and sharing some timeless wisdom as well. She admits that she does not always wake up feeling as fancy as many probably would believe, but she's had her days too. But the key, she says, is to keep moving. Now, use it or lose it, she says. She admits that she feels strongest though when she's working out and being creative. Nature and creativity, I personally feel like it can do it every time. Maybe unless I'm dealing with something like grief. If I'm dealing with grief, and like having conversations with people who have unconditional love for me, typically it's probably what makes me feel better, unless it's grief of a something like a leadership position, and then maybe it's a close friend who would understand exactly what I'm going through. I know, too much, but I mean, let me just give it to you today. Let me just give it to you today, okay? But now that the actress Angela Bassett, of course, has entered her 60s, she says that her favorite saying is, "You can't dance to every record, so wait for your jam and then you get off," right? Admitting that you have to sometimes let things pass you by. Her most challenging role, though, to date, is still the iconic Tina Turner movie. Role of her playing, of course, Tina Turner. What's Love Got to Do with It is the name of the movie. I don't know why I went all the way around just to say that, y'all. But saying the iconic role, she said, highlighted so many important issues about spousal abuse. She says resilience and also talent. And I'm going to add that when you are playing an icon or even like the role of a real person, you want to do a great job. I mean, it's always good for those people who, and this is my opinion only, but a lot of the times when you're playing icons, in my opinion, it's great when the icon is still living and you can talk to them and like be around them and sort of still see some of their behavior so you can mirror that while you are in the role itself. You can get their insight, get their input, but then always though come from your heart and put your spin on it essentially. But it's always good, I feel like, to have the input of the icon themselves that you're actually going to be able to play. Yeah. Yeah. I know Viola Davis though ain't never gonna live down that role of Michelle Obama, but that's a story for a different day. Okay. And although Angela's kids, she say they're now in college, she said she ain't cried yet. She said that she seems to be adjusting, not to being like a friend, but more of like being a counselor to her kids by giving them good advice. Actually, I think the kid said that. One of her, I think her son said, "Oh, mom, you give good advice." hmm And congrats, y'all, to Spike Lee and Denzel on their latest project, which marks their fifth collaboration, according to the magazine. Now, the film is called Highest to Lowest. It's a crime story that reminds audiences why these two iconic icons, still got game. The film is about a mogul by the name of David King who's pulled, into a panic learning his teen son has been kidnapped. Now, the twist is that Tyler returns home and David learns that the kidnappers took the son of his close friend. There's a $17 million ransom at stake, y'all, and you can read all about it on page 57 or just check it out on Apple TV. And that, of course, concludes Black on the Inside of Us Magazine's September 15th issue.